Hello world, welcome to Rex Arthur TV. This is the Rex Arthur show where we discuss LGBTQ issues with an LGBTQ approach and an LGBTQ perspective and a humanistic approach in an LGBTQ plus planet where each and every one of us belongs to one or two of the letters in the 10-letter sexual alphabet LGBTQIAAP. And today we're discussing a very interesting thought I had about legislation. This is still on the back against the backdrop of the Angolan decision, the Angolan law to not only allow or decriminalize gay sex, but to punish those who are homophobic or exhibit homophobia or transphobia against gay people and LGBTQ persons. We are very happy that happened, and it's what has led to this discussion because this is the first type of decriminalization from an African country that has gone through the parliament for legal minds and philosophers to study. Because in the past, many people always thought that decriminalization of gay sex must come from the courts. But what Angola has shown us, it's not a must for you to go to court to seek redress for your LGBTQ rights, even though, and neither is it bad to go to court, and neither is it bad for the president to make an executive order. You know, this is what we saw with President Obama. Obama uh, made an executive order allowing LGBTQ persons to be in the military. He didn't go to Congress. And actually, most of the LGBTQ legislation in America is executive Congress, reason being for a very good reason. During Obama's tenure, the number between the Republicans and Democrats was evenly more or less the same. And especially in the second term, the Democrats dwindled in number. So it was very hard to make legislation that was for gay people because the Republicans would rally against it and it wouldn't pass and nothing would have happened. So you can imagine if they chose the legislative part only, what would have happened. So Obama, because he was a pro-LGBT president, he used his executive power to pass LGBT legislation in different areas like the military and government employment. And then the Supreme Court legalized gay marriage, again without Congress nor the president. Because people need to understand, when the Supreme Court did that, not the president who allowed gay marriage, it was the Supreme Court. So this is the reason we're doing this video, just to teach you in a very small few minutes that legislation, there are three types of legislators in a country. The president is a legislator. The parliament is a legislator. And the judiciary is a legislator. Now, these three legislators make laws differently. The president only makes orders. He can make orders. That's why he's the executive. He's the representative of the executive. Even ministers, they make orders. And then in the legislature, they make laws. So they make laws, and sometimes the laws can be made by the ruling party or the party that has the majority, or made by a private member. And then the laws are discussed, and then the law goes for assent to the president. That's what happens, depending on what the constitution says. Some constitutions may not even necessarily need a president to sign the law, or even he may not have a chance to veto. So if the president if he wants to veto a law, he may not be empowered by the constitution. So you see why the constitution of a country is the most important document, it's because if it does not stipulate certain powers, that president cannot exercise powers that are not known. The powers of a president are known in the Constitution, and that's what empowers a president to do certain things and not to do certain things. This is why generally presidents are the same, but specifically not all presidents in every country are the same. Some presidents are ceremonial, some presidents are very powerful, some presidents are dictatorial. So it's the constitution of a country that defines what type of president you'll have. Same to the legislature. You can have a country whereby the legislature is a very powerful one, like what you call the parliamentary democracies against the presidential democracies. And then we also have the judiciary. So this is where most LGBTQ activists run to. And it's the best method because there is no bias, they are neutral, the judges do not belong to political parties. The legislature, the problem is most of them have political parties. Therefore, if the ruling party is a homophobic party, the chances of you getting a victory for your community is very hard. The chances of you for getting a victory for your lobby is very hard. So I prefer when LGBTQ groups go to the courts, because that is a neutral place and they value evidence over sentiment. They value evidence over political leanings. Well, it depends. In America, the judiciary has political leanings. So that's the problem with the American system. So you can know which judge is going to judge for the gay community and the one which will go against it, because you already know the leanings of the judges. You see, that's what I find about the American system that maybe is not very nice, because it's a real winner takes it all situation, because when you win the election, you are allowed to pick judges. So imagine picking Republican judges for the rest of your life, like what Trump has been doing. That will make the country Republican, because the judiciary is Republican, then the legislature is Republican, then the executive is Republican. So you see, that is thorough. You are now in a purely Republican country. And the same Democrats, you have an executive Democrat, legislature exclusively Democrat, and the judiciary, you can even make it Democratic. However, because America is 50% Republican and 50% Democrat, though Democrats, in my view, are rising, the shape of the country is going to change gradually. So that's just my thought I had for today. Just think about it. There's a diverse ways of legislation. So there are very many ways we can save our skin as LGBTQ persons. And those are the many ways. And I was impressed with Angola, because Angola now looks like a very good country for a gay person. Actually, if I'm to choose between Angola and Mozambique, I would go to Angola. Yeah. First of all, they even arrest homophobes. That's powerful. Very good. Yeah. Because most LGBT persons are not working because of their sexuality. Not because they can't work. It's their sexuality. So you see, Angola has saved our brothers and sisters in Angola. And Mozambique is different because it is the court that decriminalized gay sex, not necessarily the legislators. So that one is a bit dicey, because the legislators may be homophobic and they may not be so kind to gay people. What was supposed to happen, what Angola has done, should be replicated in every African country to protect the gay people of Africa. And we're very happy for that. So that's the diversity of legislation that we all needed to know.